Imagine opening a book filled with a language no one on Earth can read. Not scholars, not cryptographers, not even modern AI. For over 600 years, this book has refused to be understood. And the strangest part, it might not be nonsense at all. This is the mystery of the Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript is a handwritten book believed to have been created in the early 1400s. It's filled with over 200 pages of text, diagrams, and illustrations. But nothing about it is normal. The writing system doesn't match any known language. The plants drawn inside don't exist in real life. And the diagrams resemble astronomy, biology, even alchemy, but never quite make sense. It's as if the book comes from somewhere familiar, but not entirely our world. You might think, maybe it's just a code, but that's where things get strange. Some of the greatest code breakers in history, including experts from World War II, have tried to decipher it and failed. The text follows patterns, like a real language would. Words repeat, structures exist, but no translation has ever been confirmed. It's not random, but it's not understandable either. So what exactly is the Voynich Manuscript? Over the years, countless theories have tried to explain it. Some grounded in logic, others far more unsettling. One possibility is that the manuscript is written in a real language, not a code, not a trick, but an actual system of communication that has simply been lost to time. Languages disappear more often than we think. Entire civilizations vanish, taking their knowledge with them. If that's the case, then this book could be one of the last surviving pieces of a forgotten culture, a voice speaking across centuries that no one today can understand. Others believe the manuscript is encrypted, a highly sophisticated cipher designed to hide its true meaning. But here's the problem. Even the best code breakers in history have failed to crack it. Experts who deciphered wartime codes studied this manuscript and found nothing. No clear key, no consistent pattern of decryption. If it is a cipher, then it's one far more advanced than anything expected from the 1400s. Which raises another question. Who would have been capable of creating something like that? Then there's a more grounded explanation. What if it's all meaningless? A carefully crafted illusion. Some researchers suggest the manuscript could be a hoax, created to impress, deceive, or even make money. The writing looks like language, but carries no real meaning. The illustrations appear scientific, but lead nowhere. A performance designed to convince others that something important was hidden within it. But if that's true, why go through such extreme detail? Hundreds of pages, consistent patterns, all for something that says nothing. Another theory suggests the manuscript isn't meant to be read like a normal book at all. Instead, it could represent a completely different way of thinking, a system of knowledge that doesn't translate directly into language. The symbols, the drawings, the structure itself might be part of a method we no longer understand. Not just words, but ideas encoded in a way that requires a different kind of interpretation. If that's true, then the problem isn't the manuscript, it's us. And then there are the more unsettling possibilities. What if the manuscript was never meant to be understood by the people who found it? Some believe it could be the work of an isolated mind, someone creating their own reality on paper. Others suggest something even stranger, that the manuscript represents knowledge beyond its time, ideas that didn't belong in that century. Or perhaps it was never meant to be discovered at all. Every theory attempts to explain the manuscript, but none have fully succeeded. And that's what makes it so compelling. Because no matter how you look at it, the Voynich manuscript remains just out of reach. The illustrations might be the biggest clue. Strange plants that don't exist, unusual diagrams that resemble stars, organs, even systems we don't fully understand. And perhaps the most disturbing of all, small human figures placed in bizarre, almost ritual-like environments. It feels less like a book and more like a guide to something unknown. Carbon dating places the manuscript in the early 15th century, but no one knows who wrote it or why. It passed through collectors, scholars, and historians before eventually being studied in the modern era. And yet, despite centuries of effort, it remains just as mysterious as the day it was created. Modern analysis suggests the text isn't random. It follows statistical patterns similar to real languages, which means it likely means something. But what that meaning is remains completely unknown. A book that looks real, behaves like a language, but refuses to be understood. For centuries, it has challenged anyone who dares to read it. And maybe that's the point. Because some knowledge might not be meant to be uncovered. Or perhaps we just haven't learned how to read it yet.